guys, welcome to another installment of Tobi's Books, where I'm going to be showing you why your business is failing and how to fix it. Firstly, I just want to let you know it's not enough to have a great idea, product or service. Sometimes people say, I've got a great idea, it's going to change the world. And as good as that idea is, I just want to let you know I'd rather somebody who has a brilliant business model than somebody who has a great idea. Because with a business model, you can replicate it wherever you are in the world. Why do you think McDonald's is successful? The key is actually they have a business model. So does Starbucks. Any franchise out there in the world has a business model. And that business model is the key to their success. The first reason why many businesses fail is simply because they do not have a unique selling point, or some organizations call it a value proposition. So what do I mean by that? It's simply this: what separates you from the competition? So I'm going to give you an example. I have a friend and she runs a children's party, and she does this on a regular basis, and I simply asked her what makes her children's parties different or more valuable than other children's parties. She needs to think, how can she separate herself from other children's parties? How can she gain ahead of the competition? Now that's one way of thinking of it. There's something else I want you to think about, and I'm going to be reviewing a book in a few weeks' time called Blue Ocean Strategy. Now that goes beyond competition to actually creating your own market, your own uncontested market where no one competes with you. For example, when we first started having phones, everyone would get a phone. It could be the Nokia 3310. Then what happened? Apple came out and other organizations came out with smartphones that completely blew the market open. They created an uncontested market segment for themselves. Another example, whenever people go on holiday, they would usually go and book in a hotel. Then what happened? Airbnb came, and that completely shifted the market. They created their own market for themselves. And that's what you need to think about. How can you create your own market for yourself, which is uncontested, which no one has been to before? The second part of this model is called the customer segment. Who will benefit from your value proposition? So my friend's value proposition is to have story-led parties where the young people use their own imagination. Now she needs to think, who is going to benefit from this? The children are, however, the people mainly are parents of those children. Between the ages of 1 to 6, they are the ones who will enjoy what she's doing. They are the ones who are actually going to pay her at the end of those children's parties. So the second key aspect is customer segment. Who are the people who are going to buy into your value proposition? The third part of this business model generation canvas is simply called channels. Now channels is all about marketing. How is my friend going to market what she does so that people can purchase or buy into it? So here are a few tips. One could be Facebook. Many parents between the ages of 30 and 40 are on Facebook. That's the generation I personally was brought up in. So those people will be on Facebook. So the best way to target them is actually to do some Facebook advertising. Another form could be Instagram. Show pictures, maybe videos of what she does at those children's parties. Another way is simply through her own website. So she has her own website. So she needs to think, how can she get her website to the top of Google and under the title children's parties, or anything to do with children having fun between the ages of 1 and 6. So channels is all about marketing. How can you get your customer segment to know about what you're doing? The fourth part of this model is called customer relationship. All I simply mean by that is, how do you keep your customers abreast of what you're doing? So many times I get emails from different companies. It could be Uniqlo, it could be Nike, it could be Adidas. And they send me an email to let me know what is the latest product they have. So my friend needs to think about, how is she going to keep her customer segment abreast of any latest development she has for her children's parties? So one way could be emails. Now emails are so crucial. Many people build up their customer base simply by getting the emails of their clients, and then they will send them some emails at the end of the month. Another could be newsletter. A third way could be text message, and a fourth way could be social media. You could encourage your customers to sign on to your Facebook page, to join your Instagram page, and then through that you can encourage them to keep abreast with what you're doing. Now I want to say that you do not have a business until you have a revenue stream. All I simply mean by that is, how are you going to get paid? If you're making a loss, then you don't really have a business. The key to business is to make a profit, and you do not have a business until you make a profit and until you know what your revenue stream is. So my friend needs to think about, what's her revenue stream? How's she going to get the money which her customer segment has to her? And we discussed this. It could be through a card machine. She could also do something called a subscription model, where parents maybe pay a certain amount each month for her to do things at a party or at a discount price. Or she could do licensing. And what I mean by that is, she could create a model with regards to the children's parties and get other people around the country to run her children's parties, and they pay a licensing fee to her, which is another stream or revenue stream. Point number 6, my friend needs to think about her key resources. What resources is she going to use to ensure that her children's parties succeed? So here are some of my thoughts. She needs a house or some sort of place where she can run these children's parties. She also needs people who might help her, because it will be really challenging if she does it by herself. And if you've not watched yet, you need to go and watch my video on teams. Teams are the key to your success and to any other people's success. So she needs a team around her who will help her succeed at her children's parties. She also needs materials for those children's parties. Maybe she needs a costume for herself or any other materials that those children might need to ensure that the children's parties are successful. So point number 6 is, what does she need to have her business run or work? Number 7, key activities. My friend needs to think about, how can she stay ahead of the game? Because many people are always innovating in every single sphere, organization, and she needs to think, how can she stay ahead of what other people are doing? So here are some suggestions, and I'm going to be reviewing a book in about 3 or 4 weeks time called The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber, and that's going to be such a great help to many of you who are entrepreneurs out there. So one of the thoughts that I had is, she needs to have a set of story-led parties that she can take out anytime and use. And this is really crucial, because any organization or company which succeeds, they have a system, a way of doing things that no one deviates. For example, McDonald's. No matter which McDonald's you go to around the world, it's always the same. When you walk in, the fries are done the same. The burgers are done the same. Why? They have a system, a manual, and it's replicated anywhere around the world. So my friend needs a set of story-led parties that she has. The second thing I was thinking is she needs to train others in her system. As I said previously, teams are the key to your success. So she needs to have people who can take her children's parties around the UK and just follow the system that she's created. And finally, she needs to design a manual, a simple booklet that anyone can take, read through it, understand how to run those parties, and then deliver it anywhere across the country. And she could have a video also as a way of training the people in her systems. So the key is she needs to think about innovation. She needs to constantly innovate her children's parties. The taste of the burgers and also the fries. Why? It's because they have a set system, a way of doing this. And what they do is they have it in a manual. So she needs to have her children's parties in a manual so that it becomes a system. Point number 8, she needs to think about who are going to be her key partners in order for her to succeed. So some of my thoughts behind this is she needs to think about her web designer, because they will be constantly updating the website so that people are kept abreast of what she's doing and also that the website is fresh. She also needs to think about her costumes. Because her children's parties are story-led, she usually wears a costume. So she could form some sort of partnership or bond with a designer to make these costumes for her and also for the people who will be running her children's parties. And the third point I thought about was the children's materials. In some of the children's parties, children are given materials so that they can make or design something. Maybe she has to form a partnership with the bookstore or with the store which gives these children's materials. So key partners have to do with which group are essential to your success. And that could also include the people in your team who are helping you. Point number 9 and the final point is cost structure. This is really simple and straightforward. She needs to think about how much money she's going to make and then deduct the cost of all the materials, how much it will cost to even rent a place if she does, and that will give her her profit. So cost structure is income minus cost equals your profit. Hey guys, thank you for joining me on another installment of Tobi's Books. If you've got a business or starting a business, let me know how this applies in the comment section below. Remember to like, comment, subscribe and share this with 5 people who you know are starting a business or are currently in business.